Hello and welcome to the International Pentagon Challenge. My name is Kyanite and together we'll be embarking on a very special Football Manager journey where we'll aim to try and win every major international competition in all 5 continents, forcing our hand to play with hundreds of different types of players and most importantly hopefully create loads of awesome different types of tactics along the way. Once that's complete, only then are we allowed to set our sights on the biggest of all goals, the FIFA World Cup. How many nations will we have to manage until we work our way to the top? How many dodgy names will we have to pronounce along the way? So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hopefully we're going to have a lot of fun along the way. Alright, hello everyone and welcome to episode 31 of the International Pentagon Challenge. So, last time round we beat Italy 1-0 and I said that the friendly against Hungary and the next game against Denmark I wouldn't show on camera because we basically guaranteed that we'd finish top of our Nations League group when we beat Italy in the last episode, so the Denmark game didn't really mean much, and of course the Hungary game was kind of a game for us to experiment with up against a half-decent side. I think they're about 30th, 40th in the world, 48th, okay. And to be honest, we didn't, as you can see, didn't make it easy for ourselves. So we were by far the better side. They had one shot on target and scored from it. And yeah, we left it late to get the winner. Marcus Rashford came on and made the difference. And then we played Denmark and surprise, surprise, it's yet another 1-0 win. I don't know what it is with our obsession with 1-0 wins, but I'm telling you, on another day, 1-0 could have quite easily been about 6-0. 6 clear-cut chances we had that game, and I couldn't quite believe what I was seeing. We were missing tap-ins from in front of the box, going wide, over the bar, straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. I just couldn't believe it. And the goal that we did actually score was a Marcus Rashford penalty. Let's take a look at some of these players who I've brought in who you may not have seen before. So Matthew Ball is one of them. Just to clarify, my regens now actually have faces. I've added faces on my regens, so it might make it a bit confusing for you guys, but I will make it clear when a player is a regen. The reason why I'm sticking faces on regen players is because it just makes playing the game a little bit more enjoyable for me. Hopefully it makes watching it a bit more enjoyable for you. Now, I used to love regen faces, but this year the faces are dreadful. So yeah, I'm turning them into actual human beings. So I've got like a massive collection of regen faces, and I'm basically assigning faces that look the closest to their regen face as possible. So yeah, we've got Matthew Ball contracted to Liverpool. He's actually been starting for them in the league a fair bit, like 7 games in the Premier League, which ain't too bad. But as you can see from his attributes, this guy is very, very good. It's a shame that he's a little bit short, but hey, Casillas was pretty short, wasn't he? Yeah, 12 aerial reach, 15 command of area, 18 eccentricity, so yeah, sometimes that's not always the best stat to have, but yeah, 17 handling and 16 reflexes, just all round a very good keeper. Other players who have come in, Reece Nelson. Now, of course, Reece Nelson isn't a regen, he's a real life player. But I remember last year, Reece Nelson kind of made the Arsenal first team on my Blackburn save, and he was always a handful against me. So I kind of thought to myself, you know what, let's bring him into the England side, see what he can do. He's right-footed, great dribbling, likes cutting inside, might be a decent backup style player for the role that Rashford plays. Unfortunately, didn't really impress too much, even though I will keep him in the squad, because I kind of like directly swapped him out with Raheem Sterling, who's getting on a bit. So we'll have to wait and see how Reece Nelson does. And I've also brought in Josh Tymon to replace Callum something. But if you remember him, I think it was called Callum Sharp from one of our previous episodes. Regen left back, and I've actually ended up bringing in Josh Tymon just because he's a much better player. Can we actually compare him to Callum? Can we? No, he's not here. He's not here. But as we can see, Josh Tymon, very, very tidy player. So what I like about him is his decent work rate. And sometimes you get kind of like fullbacks who are either really good at crossing and poor at tackling and marking, or ones that are like defensive fullbacks that are really good at doing defensive stuff, but not that good going forwards. And Josh Tymon is just great at doing all of it. So yeah, Chilwell has been a bit you know, on and off from time to time. So the fact that Timon comes into the squad means that there's now competition for places, and he is obviously pretty young, 25 years of age, and you know, hungry to try and cement his spot in the England side. So yeah, we went 1-0 down to Hungary, won that in the end. Should have really beat Denmark by quite a few goals, and you're probably wondering, well, okay, you finished top of the group. What happened? So Italy and Denmark drew again, and Denmark were the team that got relegated. I've got no idea, like, on what basis they got chosen over Italy, but I can't be bothered really looking into it in detail. Group 2, Spain finished top of that, finished top on goal difference, so unlucky Belgium. Croatia, the team to get relegated from that group. There was a point where Serbia were flying high in Group 3, and unbelievably, it's Portugal who've ended up getting relegated on goal difference. Portugal. 6 points for all the teams, and Serbia just about managed to survive. I am kind of disappointed that if we obviously get past the semi-finals, we could end up facing the Germans, which, as we know, is never really ideal when you're the English. But yeah, I would have liked the Serbians to go through. That could have probably made our tie, or potential tie, a little bit easier. And Group 4 went exactly how we thought it would. Romania only getting 1 point there, but fair play to them to even making it to Division A in the first place. Holland second to France, who are obviously currently the European champions, with Zinedine Zidane as manager. So you're probably wondering, right then, who is it we got? Did we get Germany or did we get France? And we got France, right? What was really confusing is the fact that we don't actually play the semi-final for like another 2 months. I thought it would all be done in one go. I don't know why, but obviously it's international games, so you have international breaks and stuff. So hopefully important players don't get injured by the time we do actually have to play that game. Until then, we have our World Cup qualifiers, and obviously I showed you our World Cup group in the last episode. To cut a long story short, this episode is going to be the game against Wales. I'm not going to bother showing you the San Marino game. Next episode will be the game against France. So, Wales. Let's take them on. Also, I did say in the last episode, if there were any old players from like countries we've managed before that you guys wanted me to look up and see how they're doing. And Pirolito was one mentioned in the comments. Our little Despacito, obviously. We don't know anything about him specifically, but that's Pirolito in a nutshell for you. So not much has really changed with him, other than the fact that he's getting older. As far as Angola are concerned, let's actually take a look at how they've been doing since we're here. So, African Cup of Nations, it seems like they got knocked out in the group stages, and now they're playing qualifiers again. They're currently trying to qualify for the World Cup, and they are second in their group at the moment. They've got Tunisia in their group, so that's going to be a bit of a tough one for them. As for the United Arab Emirates, it was actually going really, really well for them at one stage. So, you know, they lost 5-0 to South Korea, which we saw in a previous episode, but then they beat Qatar, Thailand, and got a respectable draw against Saudi. So they were second in the group, but I don't quite know what's happened since then. They lost to Kuwait, form's been a bit iffy, lost again to South Korea, lost again to Qatar. They've still got games against Thailand, Saudi, and Kuwait. They're going to need at least 2 wins, I think, to stand a chance of maybe stealing second place if they're lucky, or even getting third place. So unfortunately, they are bottom of the group at the moment. But the fact that Kuwait and Qatar have more points than Saudi Arabia is very, very, very interesting. Seems like their new Serbian manager is struggling a little bit, so maybe they should have hired yours truly instead. And, well, Iran look like they're struggling as well. China in second place in that group. Well, this region's definitely putting in a decent shift for China. That would be amazing if China could make a World Cup. But yeah, that's how it stands there. And I think one last country to look at, and that is North Korea. So there we go then. So they're top of the Asian Cup qualifier group. Well, okay, no games have been played. That's probably why they're top. They've got Singapore, Sri Lanka, and Vietnam in their group. They should see through them fine. It makes me wonder what happened in their World Cup qualifiers. So, oh no, they have played games. This is confusing. All right, Group 2. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, of course, we had North Korea in our group. Sorry, brain fart moment, brain fart moment. Yeah, okay. So, all right, they did all right, actually, to qualify for the East Asian Cup. And Yeah, okay, so they finished top of their group there. I'm not actually quite sure when the cup is going to be held. It's going to be held in a few months' time. So, yeah, that's how North Korea are doing right now, really. Nothing spectacular, nothing too new. But on that note, let's play the Welsh. Okay, so really we're going to be playing with kind of our attacking approach. At the end of the day, it's Wales. Ben Woodburn is a tidy player. They've got quite a handful of regens that we don't really know much about. I think we've just got to try and be careful of the players that we know are their better players, like your Woodburns, like your Wilsons, like your Ben Davies. And to be fair, Wilson himself ain't even that great. Like, he's valued at 36.5 million quid. He's decent technically, but from a physical standpoint, he's not that brilliant. Ben Davies is obviously going to be getting on a bit, 31 years old, so he's not exactly got the same level of pace as he once upon a time had. So Andre Green really on paper should be able to outpace him and have him in his back pocket. I've been starting a lot of games with Rosenthal, but I want to just bring Harry Kane back into the side. I feel like, I don't know, Harry Kane and me just aren't clicking with England at the moment, and I'm hoping that changes. Yeah, so that's going to be our starting lineup. The only main change to maybe what you've seen in the past is the fact that Joe Gomez is now playing centre-back. That's because Michael Keane isn't really getting much game time for Man United, and his fitness isn't as good as it potentially could be. Joe Gomez played well against Denmark last time out. As for specific kind of tactical tweaks, I don't really, want to do any of that. Why is this guy got a blue shirt and the rest of them have got red shirts? Is that because he's talking about him? No, I don't know. Yeah, at the end of the day, Tony Pulis is their manager, and we know what to expect. It's a 4-4-1-1. They're going to be playing direct. But I do actually think the way we're set up will allow us to take advantage of the lack of pace they have in the wide areas, not just amongst their fullbacks, but amongst their kind of wingers as well. Daniel James is pretty fast, but he's only kind of that lone guy on their left-hand side, and I've got faith that Chidi should be able to handle him. We will stick him on support just to play safe. And one thing I will do is, because Harry Wilson is he left? Yeah, he's left-only footed, so I want to try and show him actually on his right foot. He's playing as an inverted winger probably, so try and get him feeling uncomfortable, and just go in hard on both Ben Woodburn and Brian Taylor, who's that playmaker playing just off Woodburn. Small tweaks we could potentially want to make could be dropping our defensive line just to, try and deal a little bit better with them fast counter-attacking long balls forwards, because Woodburn is kind of like a wingerish type of player. He is still pretty fast, but I don't really feel like we need to overcomplicate things right now. Let's just go out there. Let's just beat Wales. Simple, really. We're a much better side than them, so yeah, let's do it. Okay, then here we go. We walk out, and it's time for me to face the man, the myth, the legend that is Tony Pulis. I thought they were going to score from a corner then. I was just like, that's just Tony Pulis in a nutshell, really, isn't it? So James whips it in, and, well, you can already see the Tony Pulis play coming into effect here, I'm not going to lie. It's out for a corner once again. So really, I'd say maybe Wales and Slovakia are kind of our main difficult opposition within this group at the moment. But we should be able to really beat both. One thing that kind of frustrated me was that a lot of these Welsh players, like in my scouting report, we actually had no information about, which, like, Kane is offside, which was really quite confusing considering a lot of them play in the English leagues. So it's making me wonder whether or not I need to maybe hire a few more scouts. But anyways, here we go. Rashford is going to pick the ball up down the left wing. Finds Sam Jones, who, despite the fact that he's... Go on, Kane. There we go. Harry Kane. Chidi with the assist. And, well, I put my faith in Harry Kane, and he's certainly made it pay off. Credit where it's due to him. But yeah, what was I saying? I was saying something, yeah. Sam Jones, even though he's a phenomenal player, like, you look at some of them attributes, he is really, really good. He's not actually starting for Man City. Allegri's actually Man City's manager. So it is really frustrating that such a key part of our midfield, because he is a better player than Will Hughes or that other guy who plays for Spurs in real life, Harry Winks. He's a better player than both of them. So it is really frustrating that he's not getting game time within the game. Tell you what, though, other than the goal that we got, we've not really done much. Most of the highlights have been Wales. Been a bit of a boring game, really, hasn't it? Come on, let's counter-attack from this. Play it across to Rashford, and now we should have enough pace to play Hurrikane through, and Hurrikane messed that one up there. For me, Hurrikane has got to score in that kind of situation, and this is another chance for us to counter-attack in very similar fashion. You can see Green has been getting the better of Ben Davies down that right-hand side. It's just been the kind of final delivery that's not really reached our lone striker. When we were actually 1-0 down to Hungary, one thing we did was play Hurrikane as a target man, just alongside Rosenthal. And they worked pretty well together, so I might kind of orchestrate a third tactic, which is more of a 4-4-2 for when we really, really need a goal, kind of like an overload 4-4-2, kind of very similar to what we played with Angola. Right then, I think I'm going to start making some changes here. Wales have had most of the possession. I feel like we should really be doing better. We'll drop our tempo a little bit, be a little bit more balanced. That way, hopefully, you know, we get players a little bit closer together. We keep the ball a little bit better, start to tire out the Welsh and get a goal or two in the second half late on. Dele Alli finds a run of Hurrikane, and that's not going to be offside. You see what I mean? I've had so many of these highlights with England where they kind of pick the ball up in the box and just shoot wide of the target. And I think it's because I actually have a fair amount of young players in my side as well. It's very difficult when you're a talented nation like England to get that right balance between experienced players and, you know, young players who aren't maybe used to playing at an international level. I think that could be what's affecting them. Ben Davies free kick, and it will be headed away by the one, the only Joe Gomez. It's dangerous there for Brooks, but it's easily caught by Jordan Pickford. But again, we've not exactly been a drab match so far. I think that's a good way to really describe it. I don't really think we've looked good. So I'm going to tell them I'm not happy with the performance out there. In terms of maybe changing it around, I feel like we've kind of almost forced ourselves to be a little bit more direct than I personally would like. I've seen a lot of passes where it feels like we're needlessly being direct. So I'm going to reduce our passing. No longer give them creative freedom, because that's sometimes what encourages them to kind of deviate from the plan and play the kind of long balls we've been seeing, which haven't really been necessary. Other than that, we'll leave it the same. Green hasn't exactly had the best of games. We will keep him on, though, and I think we'll give it to like the 60th, 65th minute. Then we can maybe start bringing on some fresh legs. A few more bursts of pace. Oh, unlucky that. Bring on some fresh legs and, you know, start causing the Welsh even more problems. I'll eat to Rashford, and, well, what do you know? Surprise, surprise, he's offside as well. You guys have no idea how many offside highlights I edit out of these videos when we're on comprehensive. It's unbelievable. So frustrating. Okay, so Tom Lawrence is going to be coming on. Actually, he's a centre midfielder, which is a bit of an interesting move. We've seen absolutely nothing from ourselves, which is really disappointing, to be honest. Green's now on a 6.2, so I'll bring on... is it Sancho who I want to bring on? Nah, Sancho would kind of be an inside forward out there. I'll bring on Jepson. He has scored for us before. And now it's a case of whether or not I maybe swap Dele Alli out. I'll bring on Josh Tymon. Let's give him his England debut and see whether he can offer anything that maybe we've not really gotten from Ben Chilwell so far this game. Here we go then. Maybe a chance. No, instead let's just throw the ball to Wales. Are we gonna get another 1-0 win? This is dreadful. Now I know what every manager of England feels like. It's depressing. Head. Nope. Okay, give the ball back. Nice ball from Stones towards Hurrikane, looking for the run of Rashford maybe. Dele Alli forward to Jepson, who heads the ball in. Come on, guys. We go again. We recycle possession. Tymon, let's see what you can do, mate. That's a nice ball. Oh, Well, I mean, let's be honest, that wasn't a nice ball. He should have just played it along the ground. His first touch was pretty dreadful, and then it caused Rashford to try and bloody header the ball. A pass through the lines, and again, it's a bloody offside highlight. Just look at the amount of players that the Welsh have behind the ball, and once again, we play it to an offside player. And Dele Alli is dead. I don't think we've had one proper highlight this second half. It's just all been offside highlights. It's depressing. Let's bring on Harry Winks. I've not actually seen him play in an England shirt just yet. I don't think it'll be his debut. Oh, no. No. Okay. Yeah, like I said, it's definitely not his debut. Come on, take him on. You've got the pace to do it. You've got the crossing ability as well. And he crosses it straight to the goalkeeper. We get the ball into the final third. It's like now, once we've got the ball into the final third, that we're just always offside. Every time we try and play that ball forwards, it's offside. Every time I see a highlight on comprehensive, and it's depressing me. I don't know if it has something to do with the update, but yeah. It could be the fact that those wide players are on attacking, so they look to kind of sit on the shoulder of the last defender, so you can play a ball in like that. You see, when it works, it's nice, but most of the time, it just seems like I get offsides, just offsides galore. Whilst when you stick them on support, we'll try it now and see how the movement maybe changes. Rashford, by the way, has been amazing for me. So fair play to him. Let's drop to control now. Tell him to take a breather. Play out of defence. Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, let's just keep an eye on the movement of this guy, Jepson, because I think when they're on support, they opt to like kind of make themselves available closer into the central midfielders, whilst when they're on attack, they kind of look to sit on the shoulder of the last defender, and that's what causes them to basically try and beat the offside trap. But I think one thing that doesn't help with Rashford is that he does have the beat offside trap trait, so it's not really ideal, doesn't help us in that kind of scenario, but again, he grabs goals for us. He's the best Ramdeuter I think we've got in the squad, and bear in mind this is a very experienced Marcus Rashford, so yeah. There we go then. We are actually going to win by more than a single goal to nil. Another decent defensive display. I don't think it's looked as solid as it has in the past against better teams like the Italians, for example. I do still think that Michael Keane is a better player than Joe Gomez on this. Nice ball. Go on, get it to the back post. Back post to Rashford. Oh, there we go. 3-0. And that's what Jepson can do when you give him the opportunity to. And, yeah, to be fair to Wales, they have had chances. I do kind of feel sorry for him. Like, that header at the front post could have easily been a goal for them. And instead, we counter-attack down the other end and end up winning the game 3-0. We are away from home, and we do tend to not play as well away from home. As you can see, they've had most of the clear-cut chances. But I'm really happy to see Kane get on the score sheet twice. Because yes, he's like 31, 32, but he's scoring goals for fun for Spurs now. So like, remember a few episodes ago when I said their form was a bit poor in the league? They've got Ancelotti as manager. That's improved significantly now. I think they're either 4th or 5th. And he's got 17 goals so far in the Premier League as Harry Kane. So it just goes to show, yes, he's a little bit, you know, penalty. He's a little bit on the older side, but he's an important player to have in the squad. Jones towards Harry, plays Jepson through, and that's the inexperience kicking in. That was basically Denmark all over again. Nice through ball, through the defence. Winger, you know, young, fast, energetic, exciting wingers. One-on-one with the goalkeeper, puts it wide. Here he is again. You can see how much like Harry Kane just gets involved with the build-up play. It's great. So important in terms of threading the ball through towards the two wide players, whether that be Rashford or Jepson. There we go. Can we make it 4? Ooh, maybe just release the ball a little too late there. That was a real nice shot from Ward. Not from Ward, from Winks. But it was a good save from Ward. And there we go. That should be the full-time whistle. We are going to win 3-0. And as we can see on the left-hand side, we are top of our group. So Lithuania ended up beating San Marino 3-0. Good win, boys. Well done. And that leaves me to leave you guys with a bit of a challenge. So obviously next episode is going to be our Nations League semi-final against Zinedine Zidane's France. But the challenge I'm going to leave you guys is how many goals do you think we're going to beat San Marino by? Or in fact, what do you think our game against San Marino at Wembley is going to finish? And yeah, I mean, I've not got a prize for whoever's right, but I'm just intrigued at people's guesses for the scoreline. Fair enough, we've not been that great in front of goal, but it's nice that we scored 3 against Wales. Granted, it was a Gareth Bale-less Wales because he's retired. But that is going to be it for this episode. So, if you enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Just an update on my own personal reputation. I think it's slowly getting there. We're now decent. Some of these attributes obviously are slowly but surely getting there as well. We are losing scouting knowledge in North Korea and Angola, which is disappointing. But it continues. The International Pentagon Challenge once again has my face change. That's fixed. See you next time. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.